Hello and welcome back to the channel. So this is my local garden centre, Keydell Nurseries down in Hornbeam in Hampshire, and this is where I get a lot of my kind of filler plants from. They're really reasonably priced, decent sized plants, well looked after, so it's well worth coming along to have a look. So in this video I'm just going to give you an overview of some of the things that they sell and how they can be used in a tropical style garden. If you like the video, if you could please click the like button and please subscribe to the channel and you will get future updates. So this is the bargain shrubs area, which is generally where I like to hang out. There's some really good range of plants here, and there's quite often fatsias and cordylines and phormiums all around this kind of area. So let's just have a look at some of the deals that they've got on. So down here I've noticed a really nice coloured phormium, which is $7.99, so that's Rainbow Queen. So you can see it's got a lovely pink leaf to it. They do some big Trachycarpus fortunii, huge trunks on those. If you've checked out my B&M video, you will see that they have some really good architectural plants at fantastic prices. These tend to be a bit bigger here, but they are a lot more expensive for the big architectural plants on there. So these are the fatsias that they do, which you can see $5.99, bargain price for those. They've even got a small, haven't got a price on it though, but they've got a spider's web version there. And over here we've got more kind of phormiums. These ones $6.99. So yeah, different prices and stuff. They had these Pyrrhus. I bought one of these the other week at $10.99. So I bought a couple of the variegated version and then one of the Forest Flame, which they don't seem to have here now. But yeah, they've got a good selection of aces on the special offer table. So at $9.99. Let's just have a look. So that is Ace of Palmaton. So that's in a 3-litre pot and probably about 3 foot tall. There we go, Cordyline Australis Red Star at £5. It's an absolute bargain on that. And then they've got the, I presume these are the regular Australis, but back here, which are $4.99 as well. So pretty decent. So yeah, that's the special offer section. Now, as we walk around the nursery, you'll see all kinds of things. There's lots of random stuff here, like spirals and some bigger cordyline here. It's a double trunker. That's 100 quid. So lots of Photinia red robins, which are really good to have in the garden. Lots of colour. And they do a lot of Pyrrhus here. These are the ones that are not on special offer. So to give you an idea, they are $12.99, which, you know, for the size is actually quite good value for money. I wish these were on special offer. You've got Dixonia Antarcticas. Now these are quite expensive, so it's like £300. So although quite nice chunky specimens, they are quite expensive. The biggest one is 400 quid. You never know, they might have a 50% off sale at some point. Whole load on the floor down here. Nice little display. Cloud pruned olive. £500 I think for that one. Some grasses. He's the only one for me, Jolie. A really good range of plants, lots of grasses, agapanthus. They have a whole load of like rocks and stones down there, which are handy for. Oh, these are new in. That's really annoying. £2.99 each, and they're the really big ones. I might get a couple of those. They're handy for planting underneath palms, so you give a bit more interest. Various grasses. These are in much bigger pots, so 2-3 litre pots, and they're £8. Now, because they're an actual proper plant nursery, the quality of their stock and the range of their stock is always going to be a lot better than a kind of like B&M type sort of home bargains type store. So you just have to bear in mind that try and use specialist nurseries if you can for some of the plants in your garden, and then if you want to get a big architectural plant from somewhere like B&M or B&Q or something, you can get good deals on that sort of thing. As you can see, the nursery is absolutely huge. So down here they've got sort of rhododendrons and camellias, all kind of different price ranges as well. Bigger fatsias on there, and palm wise they only really do Trachycarpus fortunei, the Phoenix canariensis palm, and the occasional Chamaerops palm. So these ones are £15, and yeah, sort of the going rate for this kind of thing. You can get probably slightly bigger at some places, but these ones generally will be really good quality from here and well looked after. So there's an ornamental tree section, which a lot of their trees are kind of minimum kind of 6 foot. I won't go under the sprinklers. It's obviously watering time nice and early in the morning. Let's just see over here. So these can be usually quite expensive. The Magnolia grandifloras. So this specimen is probably about 8 foot tall, and this comes in at £64.99. So actually, quite a decent sized plant for the money. So I would say on the trees, they're actually really well priced on there. And yeah, not just magnolias, but they do like cherries, they do sort of ash trees, bigger acers, conifers if you want them. This brings back memory. So years ago, I bought some laurels from here, and these are £25. And although they lost a lot of their kind of smaller leaves, a bit like leggy plants, but they're still kind of about 8-9 foot tall. And I stuck, I think, 5 or 6 of these behind my log cabin, and they've really filled out and turned into fantastic plants. So to be honest, for 25 quid, you can't complain too much at all. So I think they probably got a little bit droughted, lost their leaves, and then they've regrown again. But considering down here, you've got ones for £35.99, which are kind of about 5 foot tall, I would say. And yeah, they're a little bit bushier, but to be honest, laurel will grow out really, really well. So actually, it's worth, if you can get a special offer on them, they will recover really, really well. Now here we have some Trachycarpus fortunei in various conditions, but I would say that they are probably too dry and they desperately need to go in the ground. They're going very yellow. So I guess not all the plants are looked after amazingly well, but most of them I would say probably are. To the left there's lots of climbing plants full range of kind of clematis and jasmine and all those sort of ones. And they tend to have something a bit different here every single week. So I like to come every couple of weeks and just see any bargains. And yeah, pick up the odd plant here, I must say. So today I'm looking for some cordyline. I'm looking for a cordyline red star and a couple of I think a Charlie Boy, which is another pink variety. So this is their bedding section. So they've got loads of pansies and fuchsias. I mean, look at the stock range. It's absolutely massive. So you can get some really interesting varieties of plants here, which is why I kind of use them for the kind of smaller plants where I like fill in the gaps in my garden with. And obviously that bargain section I generally always check first when I come into the store. They've got a little conifer selection here of the kind of miniature ones, and they have even more greenhouses here, but you can't actually get through. But you can see they've got loads. If I zoom in, loads of cordylines over the back there, and phormiums and things. Zoom out again, and all they've got a really good range of compost as well. Some of the prices, so yeah, $5.99 for some of the smaller ones. I bought some ericaceous compost the other day, which I got the bigger bags, which were 2 for 16 quid. And that's 50 litre, 250 litre bags for £16, not too bad. They do forest bark and all of that kind of stuff. Some twisty kind of olive trees, which are £120, standard but spiraled. Quite attractive. Lots of sort of things like choisias, pachysandras, Elaeagnus, osmanthus, $10.99. Nice little plant, grew into a fantastic shrub. A nice little selection of bay. Bay can be quite expensive. $35.99 for kind of like a little cone. And the standards are 56 quid. So here we have cordyline red star. So these are $7.99 each. And yeah, quite decent size, I would say. Really good condition. And they have the Australis at the same price, slightly bigger. I was looking for the more funky coloured pink ones, but do they have one? They've got one here. It's quite small. Pasodoble, that one is. Lots of different ferns. $7.99. And you know what a fantastic. That one's a tenner actually. That one. But what a fantastic fern. The selection of grasses. So the other week I bought a few grasses to go underneath my palms. This particular variety here. So these are at $2.99 a pot. Some lavender. We've got a range of stepping stones and kind of edging pieces. There's all the prices next to them. And then they do all the horticultural sharp sand, various grits, and even alpine grit, which is quite handy. Just like that. And then yeah, you've got all the different kind of pebbles and stones which you can use, and they do a really good selection of these big rocks, which I've used the big grey slate in the past. I must admit they've had some bigger pieces in the past. $5.99, two for a tenner. And yeah, I've got some really whopper ones actually. Large beach cobbles, which again I've bought from here before. And going up to my blue slate 40mm, which I use quite a bit in the garden. Is this variety here. Find the 40mm better than the 20 because it doesn't blow everywhere like when you're using a leaf blower, because the 40mm is heavier. So that's a good little tip. And then through here you've got all the pots, bamboo canes, plant supports. So yeah, I'm so lucky to have this garden centre just down the road from me. You've even got some really nice screens in on there, which that would look really good in a tropical style garden, I must admit, on there. Let's just have a look at their range of pots. So when we saw in B&Q the huge pots, I'll quickly go through here. Yeah, 80 quid, but look at the size of that one. That's massive. So yeah, they do a good range of the sort of plastic pots, and then it kind of leads into terracotta pots and glazed ones. I use some pots in the garden, but the only problem with pots sort of long term is that the plants run out of feed in the pot, so you have to repot them all the time. You've got to be careful that the drainage holes don't block up and the plant floods, because you can drown the plant on there. And of course in summer they can dry out. If you're getting sort of 30 odd degree heat in the summer, you're going to be watering them a lot. So I would only put plants into pots that really require, they don't require too much watering. So things like phormiums and cordylines are quite good for that. So let's have a look at the size of this pot over here. I don't know how much that is, but... And then they've got all their fencing and things like that. They also have a bargain pot section, which is just out the back, which every garden centre seems to have, to be honest. But let's go and have a quick look at that. So random. Like a witch's broom. Okay, so these are the pots I use in my garden, and they're always sort of half price. So this one would be £15. And now I've got a couple of the round ones, but most of mine are square, which I don't think they have in at the moment. But a lot of these pots are kind of like half price, or at least kind of 20% off. So if you want a great, look at the discounts, really good. So it's actually worth travelling, really. If you're up in Surrey, it's worth travelling down here, because you can save a lot of money compared to Surrey prices. So it's like a little treasure trove. So yeah, thoroughly recommend this place. And over here we've got some bigger specimen of cordyline. They're £100 for these, but these are awesome. Really good size and massive trunks on them. I think, yeah, they've got some trachycarpus down here as well as the olives. So to give you an idea, a trachycarpus this size, which is probably about 8 foot tall, is coming in at 350 quid on there, but it's super healthy and it's got its lower leaves. So that's the other thing, when you buy online, quite often the lower leaves are stripped off of them. And look at the size of the trunks on them, they're huge. So I did buy one of mine from here a couple of years ago, and it's got a narrower trunk, which I'll be trunk stripping on there, because it really lends itself to that coconut palm style look on there. So they also have a really good tool section, so they've got all the Wolf tools and various other, I think, Spear and Jackson, and all the kind of common ones that you'd see in most garden centres. and all the kind of hose lock type irrigation stuff. So like hose pipes and sprays and sprinklers and everything on there. So hope you've enjoyed the tour of my local garden centre, Keydell's, and please don't forget to subscribe and click the like button, and I will see you guys on the next video.